to talk to you today about what it's like to feel like you're trapped in a cage. We've seen many cage fights over the years. Some legendary matches. My favourite are the ones where they have to escape. I don't like pins and I don't like escaping through the door. They've had some good endings to matches, but I used to love the adrenaline, the excitement of somebody climbing the cage and getting pulled back in and somebody reaching up and grabbing their leg. And will they get over this time? Will there be somebody on the outside ready to cause shit and stop them from escaping this time? One of my favourite match types of all time, cage matches. But it can be very much like that in life. You can feel caged, trapped, stuck. And the worst thing is that cage, it kind of reflects what's going on in your mind. So we feel like we could fight an aggressor. We could push something away. We can stand up to something on the outside. But when it's on the inside, when it's in our own head, that's when it becomes... It's almost terrifying to wake up with that every day. You wake up in the morning and you've got morning anxiety. You get flashes forward of what the day's going to be like. Oh no, it's here again. That same feeling, those same thoughts that I had yesterday, whether it's something about your family, your loved ones, something about your own body, whether it's about work, a partner. It's so difficult. The constant, what I would call is like a tumble dryer washing machine. It's just the same thoughts being regurgitated over and over, and it's so exhausting. I used to have that morning till night, and I used to pray and look forward to my sleep. A lot of people have come to me over the years and they talk about not being able to sleep as well. So then you've got insomnia on top of that. And it's so difficult when those thoughts are constantly putting you in a state of survival. And that's what I mean by being trapped in this cage and it seems like there's no way out. That happened to me for years. I used to block it out with alcohol or going out and being a fucking idiot and doing all stupid kinds of stuff and causing shit in my relationship and not being the best parent I could be, and all that brought to me was more shame and more guilt. I hated it. But at the same time, I needed to turn it all off. I needed to turn those thoughts off. I didn't want to face the man in the mirror, you know? And there comes a time in your life when you do start turning into that face in the mirror. You start looking at who you've been. And then anxiety starts pushing up all those thoughts and feelings that you need to address. But we see it as something to run from, to escape from. So that solidifies the feeling then that you are trapped in a cage. I can't get away from this thing. You push it away, you climb into the corner, and it won't leave you alone. Why won't it leave you alone? Why can't you just get rid of this thing? It's so frustrating, so scary to constantly go through that cycle from morning to night. And it's the same when, you know, you go out and you meet friends and family, or you're taking the kids to school, or you're at work, whatever it may be, and on the outside you're having to be this very normal person who gets on with life. And you can't share with anybody because they wouldn't understand. They'd think you were going crazy. You feel like you are going crazy. Is this what crazy feels like? The questions, the constant rumination of it just spinning in the mind all the time. It's exhausting and scary. So what can we do about that? Well, what I learned very early was the anxiety that I'm feeling, that terror, that cage that I'm trying to escape from. It doesn't actually exist. There is no cage. The cage is coming from me trying to escape it. So it's following me around like a bad smell. Like those snakes you see chasing people with the string. They got a string attached to a snake and they start running off in a certain direction, and the snake's just chasing them all the time. They can't get rid of it because it's attached to them. So this is what we do with anxiety. When we get trapped in this cage match, we think it's us versus the cage. We've got to escape the cage, but you don't. What you can realise is the cage isn't actually there. Now, what do I mean by that? So what the brain loves to do is it loves to offer up stories, suggestions, and it likes to create images and movies of what's to come. Usually that's based on what's been, things that have happened in the past. So if you've been abused, if you've been hurt, if you've been bullied, if you've been held down, the brain's job is to keep you safe. So what it's going to do is it's going to look into the future and it's going to try and predict, like a prediction machine. It's going to check for outcomes to keep you safe. The problem is, once it gets dysregulated, it gets all out of function. 67, wow. And once it's discombobulated like that, it then will be stuck in overdrive. So everything becomes dangerous. Every thought, every image, every picture, every movie, everything that's going on in your life becomes a danger. And then we go into survival mode. And this is the real moment then that we're stuck. That's that feeling of stuckness. I can't stop the thoughts. I can't stop trying to work it all out. I can't stop the overthinking and the rumination, and it's all too much. And then eventually we go into shutdown, and then we can't get out of bed. We can't talk to anybody, and we feel like our life is just gone down the toilet. That's what it felt like for me. That's what it feels like for so many others that I work with. So what's the way out? So we can look at it as a feeling, an emotion, and something not to be worked out. Can you look at it like that? Could you see it as your anxiety, as all these thoughts and problems that are being presented to you? Could you see them as something not to be figured out? To not be torn apart, to be dissected, to be jumbled and then reassembled like a giant jigsaw? If you can do that, in the face of all those thoughts and feelings, you'll see that over time they start to fade. If you stop giving them importance, they'll start to fade. If you stop making them be the focal point, they will fade. It's not trying to get rid of them. It's not pretending they don't exist, because that feeds into it. That feeds it. That says, oh, he's trying not to look, and then you're like, oh, it's not really there. That's all avoidance. That's all escapism. What I decided to do was face it, to look at it in the face. But I'm not doing anything with it. I'm not going to follow you. I always talk about it like a dog bringing you old tattered slippers. If you take the slippers, the dog will bring the slippers tomorrow. He just thinks he's being a good boy. You took the slippers. You've approved the action. You've shown it what you like and what you want. But if you stop taking the slippers, you don't have to pretend they're not there. Just don't engage with the dog. Don't pat him on the head and tell him he's a good boy. You just allow the slippers to be there. Eventually, the dog's going to drop the slippers and think, bloody hell, what else does he enjoy doing? What else does he want to look at? Might start bringing you the newspaper. Might start bringing your favourite pair of trainers or sneakers. And this is how we retrain the brain. So we've gone from showing the brain that we're interested in all these terrible thoughts and feelings, and now to just saying, yeah, okay, they're there. I can't do anything about that, but I can show it that I'm not interested. And then show it the things that I am interested in. And this is how you win that cage match. By realising there is no cage. It's very difficult, very simple, as I was taught a long time ago. Very simple, but not easy. But we got ourselves into this position, so we can definitely get ourselves out of it. That's a fact. I've done it. Many others have done it. done it. So if you're sitting at home and you're struggling with your thoughts and your feelings and the rumination and the constant overthinking, just realise nothing needs figuring out. It may seem like it does. It may seem incredibly important, maybe even life-threatening. And of course, beyond going to the doctors and getting a normal check, a life-threatening situation, I'm not saying ignore those. What I am saying is your alarm system will make everything seem like it's the most important thing ever. And it's like whack-a-mole. Once you fix that one thing, then it moves on to this one. Once you fix that, if I could just fix this one thing, I'll be okay. Then you fix that one thing, and then it's something else. If you can notice that pattern, then you're probably stuck in overthinking and anxiety. There is a way out, and I'll talk about this more deeply in my free school group. I want to reach out and help so many people, because I've been there and I know how horrible it is. So reach out, join the group, I'll see you in there, and I will be offering as much help and advice and guidance as I possibly can. You're not alone. And remember, it's not about hitting the mat, it's all about the kick out. See you next week.